Hey guys. I know it's been a while since we've seen each other. 7 to 8 years to be exact. Yeah, Generation 6's Pokemon X and Y. We did have a lot of competitive battles back in the day, but since then you've been kind of relaxing in Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home. Well, would you guys be interested in temporarily coming out of retirement to see how a Generation 6 Ghost-type team can fend off in the Generation 8 meta? Gengar? Hate to break it to you, dude, but since then, you've lost your levitate ability, despite that animation of yours. You've also lost your ability to Mega Evolve, which is what you did back then. It's a shame, but... I agree. Wow, I lost you for a sec. Kofagrigus, I don't really need to remind you about the high-stake bet you won for me back then, buddy. You are very cool for that. Aegislash, pondering life over there. You will always be cool, my man. Jellicent, always as aloof and goofy as ever. Chandelure, so joyous and powerful. Dusknoir, just keep that tummy closed, buddy. I don't want any souls sucked. Yeah, guys, let's come out of retirement just for a little bit and see how this Generation 8 meta really is. Alright, so we got a battle with Jay here. He's going to lead off with his shiny Duraludon. Very cool. I'm going to lead off with my RG, the Aegislash. I saw that Jay has a Grimmsnarl on his team, and usually when the opponent sees that I have a team of ghost types, they like to lead with their dark type Pokemon. So, predicting that Grimmsnarl, I led with Aegislash, which didn't really go that way. Aegislash is very vital to the success of this team, so I need to keep him safe for the time being until it is time for him to be out here. So I'm going to withdraw my Aegislash and send out Slappy, my Dusknoir. Now Slappy here is very tanky, so when I switch into a Duraludon who is going to use Dark Pulse on me, I know Slappy can take the hit. Also, Slappy is holding an Assault Vest, so with that boosted special defense, not a problem there. So what we're going to do is Dynamax my Slappy here, because he's the only one on this team that actually benefits from that. He benefits in two ways. For one, he has such a large amount of type coverage that he can benefits, depending on which move he uses. So like if I wanted to boost my special defense even further, I could use Max Quake. If I wanted to boost my attack, I could use Max Knuckle. So he's the only one that really benefits. So Dusknoir has been my one to Dynamax. Now, he uses Dark Pulse once again. I'm just above 50% HP, and I'm going to use Max Quake because it does have slightly more power, and it doesn't knock out Duraludon. Duraludon does hang on to the field here, and that boosts my special defense a little bit higher. So with the Assault Vest and this special defense boost, I'm at like double what my base stat is. So pretty good here. Now, because of Duraludon's low health, I'm going to take this as a chance to not boost my special defense further, but I'm going to use Max Knuckle to gain that attack boost. All I have to do is tank this Dark Pulse, as you can see, doing a lot less than it did in the beginning, and that is great. And with these attack boost here from the Max Knuckle and Duraludon out of the battle, we can proceed forward. Now, who is Jay going to send out next? That is a good question. He is going to send out the Problem Child. This Pokemon is very problematic for my team, and he knows it. And I knew it before we started. Remember when I said I predicted with Aegislash coming out? This is what I was talking about. So after a little bit of deciding, Jay was able to come out with Grimmsnarl. His Olangar, the Grimmsnarl. Once he sends out this Grimmsnarl, I know there's a little bit of a problem. I'm probably not going to take anything. Grimmsnarl is a physical attacker. I'm at less than 50% HP. My special defense is boosted, but not my regular defense. And then he decides to Gigantamax his Grimmsnarl. That, for me, is a problem. Because that is a huge threat, right? This guy obviously knows something Dark-type physical, and he's going to destroy any one of my Pokemon that come out and take that hit, okay? Unfortunately, Slappy the Dusknoir did not get to last as long as I wanted him to, but he did put in work with Duraludon, so thankfully, Slappy, you were there on my team. I appreciate your help, buddy. Return for now. Next, what we're going to do to send out this against this monster of a Pokemon here, I had to decide very carefully. After a couple battles today and the previous day, I learned something. First of all, I learned how something functions in this game is when something is Dynamaxed, it does not. It still gets cucked by a substitute. So that's what I learned. I go ahead and sent out my Chandelure, who knows substitute, and I'm going to stall out one of his turns. I'm going to waste one of his Gigantamax turns, thankfully. So I'm going to substitute out. At the cost of 25% of HP, I go behind a substitute, and his gigantically powerful G-Max Snooze is going to hit the sub and not Chandelure, thankfully. I was a little uncertain because, again, I don't play Generation 8 competitive. So I don't know if they break through Protect. I know they break through Protect. I don't know if they break through subs. So thankfully, Chandelure was able to take that hit. He knows I'm going to use it again. Or I can physically, attack. He had a kind of a coin flip on this last move here. So what I do, I play it safe. I go with the substitute again, right? I'm going to stall out his move. He uses Max Guard to protect himself just in case that's what happens. So I've got a free sub. I'm at 50% HP. Chandelure is equipped with a Life Orb, so that's great. He also has some good coverage with a Grass-type Energy Ball, a Fire-type Fire Blast, and a Ghost-type Shadow Ball, so that's great. So I decided to lay it on him with a Fire Blast, but of course he is going to set up a Light Screen because he knows Chandelure is a special attacker, and that's going to make his team very resistant on Chandelure. That Fire Blast, which is very strong with the Life Orb and the naturally base 140 special attack, still does quite a lot of damage there to that Grimmsnarl. Now, this could have been a really super sick read if I went with Energy Ball. I was considering it too because he's neutral to fire and grass. I didn't want to jeopardize the move by missing Fire Blast, but I ran with Fire Blast Energy anyways. And if I went with Energy Ball, it would have came into a super effective hit on this Rotom, which sucks. But the Fire Blast does end up hitting, not for much because it is a Water-type Rotom, and I decide to use Energy Ball here to get a glimpse on how much damage that would have done on the switch-in. Spoiler alert, it's a good amount. Okay? So, he's going to try and, I also get the special defense drop, which is good. And then he's going to use Volt Switch, which knocks out my substitute. I'm now less than 25% HP. I make a poor man's mistake here. This is I want to say it's my rookiness talking. I know how substitute functions. But I do choose substitute here, even though I'm sub 25%. I'm going to be honest. It was like just a zero IQ move. I was not thinking at all. I know if I literally looked, I would understand. So I totally bust the move here and use substitute when I shouldn't have. And I moved first too, so I could have gotten some good damage out here on this Grimmsnarl, but he uses False Surrender and knocks out my Chandelure. Don't worry, I'm not going to make a mistake ever again in this battle. I promise you. So what we're going to do is, now that I'm out of my Dusknoir and my Chandelure, and he has Grimmsnarl out, I'm going to go ahead and send out my Gengar, my Dopply. Now the thing about Dopply, remember when I said I wasn't going to make a mistake? I lied. I make a mistake here. It's not a gigantic one, but it is a mistake. For some reason, I decided to use Dazzling Gleam on the Grimmsnarl. While it is super effective, Sludge Bomb has Stab, and I should have ran with Sludge Bomb. I don't know why I chose Dazzling Gleam. You can see I'm contemplating it there, but I do end up going with Dazzling Gleam. And here's the difference, guys. Look at that. With Stab, that may have been a KO. I'm curious to go back and look at the data. It wasn't a KO, long story short, and Grimmsnarl OHKOs the Gengar. So we are down 3 Pokemon, and this Grimmsnarl is still standing. I told you he's a problem child, and with my poor decision making, my team doesn't look like it's standing so much of a chance here. So it's time for Aegislash, the Grimmsnarl Slayer, to make his time to shine. Let's go ahead and send out Aegislash here, and what we're gonna do is try to lower his attack with King Shield. because if I put up a King Shield and he hits it, his attack gets lowered by 1 stage. Back in the Generation 6 days, it would go lowered by 2 stages, which is, it's busted. I'm not even gonna lie, that's busted. He decides to use Taunt, and that's kind of Aegislash's gimmick, is to be able to power up and shield, power up and shield. So I don't want to be stuck in a Taunt when I can't power up or shield. So he's going to withdraw his Grimmsnarl and send out Rotom. I'm going to hit him with the Iron Head. I went with Iron Head because it's super effective on Grimmsnarl, but because he switches once again to a resisting Water-type Rotom. That's 2 times in this game that he switched to that Rotom, which is definitely intended. It triggers the Rotom's berry. It's not a citrus berry. It's a Iapapa berry. That's right. So I decide to, again, I need RG for later. I'm going to withdraw him and send out my Squishy. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. I was considering Squishy because Squishy has Water Absorb, and if he was going to use a Water-type Hydro Pump on me, it would have been boosted, but I decided to go with Kofagrigus, Copy. Now, Copy here, what he does is he kind of stalls. He is normally a defensive Pokemon. Obviously, he's good in both defenses, but normally, from my experience, at least back in Generation 6, I don't know how it is nowadays, people would run him physically defensive, but I got mine kind of like specially defensive, so it's kind of like interesting. So what I like to do is obviously burn and hex, but I can also use Calm Mind to help boost my stats. Now he uses Volt Switch because that Rotom likes to come in and out, and of course he's gonna send out. Guess what? Guess who it's gonna be? It's going to be Grimmsnarl. What a surprise! So with this Grimmsnarl out, I'm going to use Calm Mind, but that's not going to really do a lot here because that Grimmsnarl is Dark type. It's going to resist that Ghost type move, and my defense is not what I'm EV trained in. I think I'm EV trained in Special Attack and Special Defense. Kofagrigus does naturally have good defense, but you know we're talking about Grimmsnarl here, so I decide here. I'm kind of at a loss, right? If Coffee can take this hit, I can seriously screw his plan up a little bit. I could burn him, or I can disable his False Surrender, which is how Kofagrigus really does work. I love Disable because it's not a common move. The thing is, he attacks first and he wipes Kofagrigus out. Unfortunately, I am at a huge disadvantage here now. He still has, I think, 5 Pokemon standing, and I'm only down to my last 2. But we're not over yet. RG is still alive, and I'm telling you, he is the savior when it comes to these kind of situations. So, RG, come on out, buddy. Let's go ahead and not fall for the taunt this time. Let's go straight for the Iron Head hit. Now, he probably knows that, so he's setting up the Reflect. He's calling it quits. He knows he's down. And just like earlier when he set up the Light Screen to protect his team from the Chandelure, now he's setting up the Reflect to protect his team from the physically offensive Aegislash. Really smart move, and that Grimmsnarl put up a very good fight. So Grimmsnarl is down. He still has 4 Pokemon left. We haven't really seen anything besides that Rotom. So from this point, he's deciding where to go. And we're getting close to the decision-making move right here. Ready? Watch this. So he sends out Cursula. Now, Cursula, I have no idea what Cursula does. Again, this is like my first few days of Generation 8 battling. I don't know what Cursula specializes in. I just know he's a defensive Pokemon. And because I know that, I decide to switch to Shield form and use King Shield. Just to see what it has, right? I'm scouting, and it does Strength Sap, which is a move that sucks my attack stat down and boosts his HP. Now, because he doesn't have HP to boost, it didn't boost. So I said, okay, I'm not going to mess with that because my attack stat is down. He's got to Reflect up. Again, Aegislash is so vital. We're gonna keep him in the pocket. Let's go out. Jellicent, my Squishy. And what do you know? He's using Whirlpool to trap my Aegislash in, but the Water absorbs that and says, no, not today, buddy. Now we are going to use Taunt. We're going to give him a taste of that Taunt medicine and put that Cursula, which seems to be what his stall Pokemon is, and prevent him from using that Strength Sap and probably a couple other things like Will-O-Wisp, which was just disabled. Now, Cursula has 2 turns in a row that just got screwed. He is probably going to switch out, I figure, so I go for the Shadow Ball. He does not switch out, but he does tank the Shadow Ball pretty well. Again, I assumed it was a defensive Pokemon. In fact, that's really well. and he uses Hex. Now, Jellicent is specially defensive. I have a lot of specially defensive Pokemon here. So, Jellicent doesn't take the Hex as good as Cursula took the Shadow Ball, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do here is use... I actually cannot remember. I'm going to use Scald. Okay, so I'm going to try and get the bird, but he actually switches and goes for Roserade. Now, the Scald on a Roserade is not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. Let's be real, right? So, the Scald hits. It does, I don't know, maybe 10% damage, 15% damage. What do you know? It's got a black sludge on it, so it's going to heal up anyway. So, what I need to do is get away from this situation, right? I'm not going to last very long here. So I'm going to switch back to Aegislash. RG, you just need a second to set up, buddy. We're going to make it happen. So let's go out to Aegislash. This is the deciding factor here. You ready, guys? Watch this. So he leads with Toxic Spikes to set up I guess poison Jellicent, really, because Aegislash is Steel type. I don't know. If he didn't know I was going to switch out, then it would have been useless. But either way, he uses Giga Drain. I see that it does not do a lot. I knew he wasn't going to KO me. Poison type is not going to be effective. Grass type moves aren't going to do very much. And as I saw, it didn't do much. So I went with Swords Dance just to scout how much damage is this really going to do to me. And once I saw how little that Giga Drain did to me, I said, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to use Swords Dance again. Ready? Let's do this, RG. Let's Swords Dance again. Take that Leaf Storm. It's a little bit more powerful than that Giga Drain, but you're going to be okay. And now it's special attack dropped. We have nothing to worry about from that Roserade. Nothing. Let's use Swords Dance again. We are now at ×3 attack. And you know what? Let's make it 4. Let's use Swords Dance. Now, when I use this move here, I love this. You see how it's communicating? That is Jay deciding how screwed he really is. He's like, okay, what the hell do I do here? He's got 4 Pokemon, right? That's a lot. I only have 2, and both of them are at half HP. He decides to keep Roserade out and go with the Leaf Storm, which again does absolutely nothing because of how lowered his special attack does and how resistant Aegislash is. With my 3rd Swords Dance, I am now at ×4 attack. Okay, ×4 with Aegislash's base 150 attack in its sword form. You know, Jay's in some serious danger here. We're just about to find out how much. He's going to withdraw to Roserade, I think a turn or 2 too late, I'd say, and throw out his Cursula. So I go ahead and stance change here into an Iron Head because I noticed I was slower than Roserade, and I didn't want to be in attack form with Shadow Sneak. If Roserade survived that, it would have killed me, you know? So I Iron Head the Cursula, which KOs it, but its Perish Body ability kicks in, which means Aegislash faints in 3 turns unless I swap him out. Well, he only has 3 Pokemon left. Let's see if we can pull it off, guys. Aegislash, let's go ahead and use Shadow Sneak on whatever Pokemon it is he sends out, which happens to be that pesky Rotom Wash from earlier. When this Rotom Wash comes out, I had a giant grin on my face because I knew finally I was going to put this thing to rest. And use Shadow Sneak, of course, with the priority. It is a 40 base move, but with ×4 attack, it is now a 160 move with Stab. It is very powerful, and I go first unless something else is using a priority move. So with Rotom Wash out of the way, there's only Roserade and a mysterious 6th Pokemon remaining on this team. And let's see what Aegislash can do. He has 2 turns left of being alive. Roserade comes on out. This time we're going to Shadow Sneak with no concern here. We're just going to Shadow Sneak right through. You saw I was kind of like determining, should I go for the Iron Head? What should I do? Let's just screw it. Let's just go for the Shadow Sneak. Hit him with the strongest Shadow Sneak you've ever seen. Bam! Roserade's down. With only 1 turn left for RG to be alive, and 1 Pokemon left on Jay's side, there's only one thing left that we can do, and that is to hit his final Pokemon, Silvally, with the strongest Shadow Sneak we got. With extra oomph, extra glory, everything. So Aegislash uses Shadow Sneak. We should get this in the bag, right? This should be no problem. And, oh my gosh, Silvally hangs on with 1 HP. I can't believe it. 1 HP. Uses a Swords Dance. The Cursed Body kicks in, and Aegislash sadly faints. All I have left is Jellicent, who's going to come out. Oh my gosh, man, Jellicent, I don't think you are, but Do you think you could be faster for this one move, man? Because this is all you got. Now, the Toxic Spikes do kick in, of course. And you know, he's equipped with a Lumberry, so there's no problem there. But, dude, unless you're faster, we're totally screwed here, Squishy. I need you to be faster. Unfortunately, he's not. This Flying-type Silvally hits Jellicent with a multi-attack and sends Jellicent back to its Pokeball for good. Man, that was such a good battle. Now, I'm not going to lie, this isn't the first battle I had in this Generation 8 meta attempt. I did get my butt whooped by many Kyogre and many other Pokemon as well. Congratulations to everybody I battled. I had a great time. The final statement is this team does not do very well nowadays. It wasn't the best team back then either, but it was definitely a fun experience. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, Techno's out.